Hello, hello, everybody. It is Deborah Porter with Mom's Mentoring Circle. I am your mom coach, and I'm here to support moms who are overwhelmed, overcommitted, overscheduled, and trying to get all the things done while still going after her own goals, dreams, and desires. And we know that as moms, we're famous for putting our own things on the back burner so that everybody else can flourish and survive and launch and have, a great atmosphere to grow up in. But here's the thing, what you still want to do matters, and you don't have to sacrifice you for everybody else. I often say you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep everybody else warm. Everybody can flourish at the same time. Everybody can advance and grow together. So today I am super excited. I've got a couple of guests that you're going to absolutely love. So get your questions ready because these two are going to be able to answer many of the questions that you have around virtual learning. So today I have Ava and Audra Christie that are going to join us. Audra is an amazing mom, wife, executive coach. She has years of experience in corporate America and in HR. And right now she coaches and mentors C-suite executives who are interested in elevating their expertise and their executive presence beyond just the wardrobe. And then her lovely daughter, Ava, is joining us, better known as the Queen of Technology. She is 10 years old, fifth grade. She loves swimming. She recently learned how to dive. She loves art, music, dance. She is an avid reader and is right now in the middle of a 50-book challenge. She loves Minecraft. I would say from what I know of Ava, she is a definite daddy's girl and loves spending time with her daddy, making crab legs on the grill. So guys, right now I am going to bring in the Christie ladies. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
How are you guys?
We are good.
Ava, how are you today, honey?
I'm good.
Awesome. Audra, my sister from another mister, how are you?
Fantastic.
Awesome. I am overjoyed at having the two of you here. And I'm overjoyed for a couple of reasons. One, because I get to see your lovely faces. And two, because what you all are doing at your home during virtual learning is going to be a real inspiration and really, really helpful to everyone else that's out here doing this as well. So I'm going to give you both a minute to say hello to the people, greet the people, and then we'll get going. Ava, you first.
Hi.
This is our Queen of Technology, people. Audra, how would you like to say hello and greet the people?
Wow, that's like a hard question, right? No, hi everyone. Excited to be here. This is like the highlight of my day. Anytime I can spend additional time with this little one here is always something that makes my heart glad. So, and thank you for inviting us.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for coming. So listen, I just want to dive right in because I know that moms are, we've got a lot of greetings here. I've got to put some of these up. So Rhonda says, greetings. Valerie says, hey, Deborah Porter. Yes, we have a Facebook user that says, hey. Oh, Valerie says, look at those smiles. I love it. Thanks for joining in, you guys. So first question is for Audra. Audra, what were the options for schooling for Ava this year for your district?
They gave us two, that you can do a hybrid model or you can elect to do virtual for the first semester. And we decided to go with the virtual because we wanted the consistency. We didn't want the yo-yoing, the back and forth, and we wanted to take advantage of live teaching. And the other option would have been if they would have gone to school and someone would have come down with COVID, then it would have been 100% self-study. And we went through that in March and we didn't want any remnants of that. So we decided to just go for the consistency from September to December, and then we can decide what'll happen next semester.
Got it. And have you heard about any stories from parents that chose the other option? Have you heard about how it's going for any of them? Or maybe if they've wished they had done what you did, have you talked to anybody?
Yeah, I think everybody wants what each other has. So there's pluses and minuses to both sides, but in the classroom, they're 6 feet apart. There's masks all day. The teachers actually rotate. So, you don't really get to get the school experience anymore. And for lunchtime, you are with a cohort through the end of the year. So I think there's pluses and minuses, but I think everyone wishes they could do what each other's doing.
Right.
Both decisions are great decisions. And the reason why you made it is you made it and you just got to move on.
That's right. So Ava, let me ask you, what's one thing that you love about doing school this way, about virtual learning? One thing that you love?
Well, if we were at school, then we have snack early because we usually have some of my other grades, we now have snack first and then lunch. And so now if you're not eating it directly in front of the camera, you can eat whenever you want.
Oh, okay. So a little autonomy there. You get to kind of decide how and what you want to do. I like that. Can you tell me one thing that maybe you don't love so much about it?
Well, I wish we were on Zoom or something because the teachers have more control over the students.
So you're not using Zoom. They're not using Zoom.
We're using Hangout.
Oh, you're using Hangout. Got it. So Audra, what about for you? What's one thing that you're loving about the decision that you made and just kind of seeing how well she's doing with it? What's one thing you're loving about it?
I get to spend more time with her. So we can get up in the morning and have breakfast sometimes, or I get to make her lunch and know where she is. One of the things we do in the morning is we go outside to get fresh air in the morning. So she'll either ride a scooter or ride a bike, but we make sure we have that break of leaving the house and coming back in. And I love that there's some flexibility because the teachers aren't teaching all the time. So we've actually added an 11-week course entitled Money Doesn't Grow on Trees. So we're able to kind of supplement and add some additional things that we probably wouldn't be able to get to during the school year. So I'm just excited about that. And I think the other thing is there's a level of independence that she is gaining and being responsible. So I really like that. But
that's
she's
fantastic.
Kind of what she needs to do. And she shows up 100%. For her teachers and her classmates.
Of course she does. Are you kidding me? So if you had to name one thing, Audra, that you're not loving so much, what would that one thing be?
That the teachers can't go as fast. So you've met the queen of technology. She moves pretty quickly, not because she's my child, but she's pretty advanced. She needs a lot of rigor and she needs a lot of extra stuff. And while they're trying to figure it out, I think there's some courses that maybe are going a little slower so everyone can catch up. And I think if she was in the classroom, it's just easier to pinpoint that. But I was told it's going to get better because, I raised the question. So what can we do specifically for this one? So we keep the momentum that we had through the summer.
I love that. I think you kind of led into another question that I wanted to ask. How has it been for you, Audra, as Ava's mom, being in touch with teachers, letting them know where she may be struggling or how she's advancing, or maybe if she needs a little bit more? How has the connection been with getting in touch with teachers and getting their response?
Pretty good. Because I've just found that you have to be a voice, and the squeaky wheel gets a lot of attention around here in the district. And I'm typically not one to always raise my hand, but because I chose this, I want to make sure that she's getting the best opportunity. So, and I also let the teachers know that, we're a partnership here. We strive for excellence. We show up, we're respectful, we do our part. But if I have an issue, then I'm going to need you to address it. And I haven't had any issues. And they kind of appreciate the rigor that we have in our home. So it's been good.
So then you're supplementing. I mean, from what you just said, you know your daughter, and so you're supplementing for her so that she can continue gaining ground.
Yes, because I just don't think it's the teacher's responsibility to teach them everything. I just don't think because when they go out of the house that you don't need to do anything. I think there's some things we just need to introduce and reinforce, and we've always had that practice. So, for example, I don't know if Ava's happy about it or was happy about it, but she only had 2 weeks off in the summer. And we were able to kind of just keep some things in front of her. And I feel like that made a difference because she's way ahead now. Because I always had that fear that, oh my God, she's going to be way behind, but not the case.
That's fantastic. So what I hear you saying is learning just doesn't happen in the school. There's a responsibility at home and that parents have to understand their child's learning style and to make sure that they're continuing to let them be challenged so they don't become bored.
Yes.
Now, Miss Ava, tell us a little bit about this money doesn't grow on trees. Tell me your perspective of that. What is one thing you've learned from that course? I know you've been doing it now for maybe 2 weeks, is it? 1 week. Okay. Is there one thing you can pull out that maybe you've learned or something that stays in your mind from what you've been reading and doing with it?
Well, like it's kind of like an animated, like 20 minutes long, and I learned that like you should like spend your money wisely and not like think you need to get everything you need, and like spend your money when you only need things and not when you always want something.
Well, I think we could end the interview right here, but we're not, but we could.
Seeds plant.
So Audra, talk to us a little bit about that. Someone asked, Jennifer is watching. Hello, Jennifer. Jennifer says she'd love to hear more about your course, Money Doesn't Grow on Trees, and she bets that other parents would love to hear more about it too. Tell us why financial literacy, why that course, why this age? Just share a little bit of that with us.
Yeah, so our parents did the best they could with what they had. So we never thought that we were, middle class. We just didn't even think about money. And as I've gotten older, I've learned that, wow, if I had some core principles when I was growing up, I think I would have made some different financial decisions earlier in my career. And just understanding like the basics. Like, of course, I think the money courses that they teach in school is just identifying, the difference between a quarter, a dime, or some word problems. They don't teach you about investing. They don't teach you about, getting things that you need versus what you want. So when we're talking about, hey, that's a great idea, but not now, or how do you work for it? I wanted to make sure, given that she's 10, that we started to lay those seeds right now. So when she gets a little older, it's not foreign. And I think the relationship that you introduce to your kids about money, like, my mom used to say, money's the root of all evil. That's not true. I didn't learn it's the root.
It's the love of, right.
Or credit cards are bad. They're not if you learn how to use them and you understand, what they're designed to do. And if you aren't smart about it, you can kind of get into that rut, which is typical. So we just wanted to make sure that if I had the opportunity virtually, what are a few things that we can teach her? She also took a, what was that thing? The manners class?
An elite manners class.
Modern manners. So we also went through a modern manners. I think it was a 6-week where, just the basic etiquette that I didn't get. A funny story. I think I was 22. I went out to my first restaurant and I ordered spaghetti, and I didn't know. And a mentor pulled me aside and said, no. And that's how we became a mentor, because I wasn't exposed to it. Like, I didn't know. I was only sitting at the kitchen table my whole life. So I just wanted to make sure that she just has a grounding of just etiquette and just making sure you're always showing up for yourself and you're showing up your best version. I don't want her to be perfect. I don't want her to be a know-it-all, but I do think exposure is the key. And I do think it's a differentiator that she'll be able to pull back at some point in life to say, oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that's incredible. So we have a Facebook user that says, you are speaking my language and what I taught my grown-up kids. So do you think these things would have occurred in this way at this age if she was not doing this virtual learning?
No, I don't think any of this would have even been a thought if COVID didn't happen. So even when COVID started, we talked about doing the laundry or just like basic home economics. Like we had home economics growing up. And my mom's a seamstress, so she is learning how to sew, right? So just like those basic things. But once we made the decision that we were going to do virtual, I knew every hour, because they're not learning 8 hours.
Exactly.
But what's the prime opportunity for me to say, my husband and I to say, what can we give her that can be a gift mentally and something that will stick? Now we got to keep going, but I do feel like this course is in her language and it's just starting to apply some principles that are going on around the world.
Yeah, this makes me so happy. I could jump up and down right now because all learning does not happen in a classroom. Mm-hmm. There are life lessons and there are things, day-to-day things that kids do not learn anymore in school. And the fact that y'all are using this opportunity with COVID and you're turning it into a positive, there have been so many negatives that people are highlighting and talking about, but the fact that you and your family made a decision to, you know what, we've got this opportunity. Let's make the most of it and let's give her all that we can to kind of round out some of those areas that are not academic, but still super important to be productive. So I love that. Valerie says exposure is key. So Miss Queen of Technology, if you would please share with us, have you found some new ways maybe to connect with your friends?
Well, I have, and I figured it out last year. Well, I asked my friend, her name is Alana, and I asked her to send me a document, and so every now and then, like, we go and say something, and then she sees my my message, and then like she types back.
So you use Google Docs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that because that's working with writing and sentence structure. And I think that's fantastic. Have you had many opportunities, Ava, to be with your friends? Like I know you've recently done swimming and dive class. So were those opportunities to really be able to actually be with your friends?
Well, I rode my bike with some friends. I had like not a play date, but like kind of like a COVID reconnect because all of my 3 friends came together because one of them was moving.
Oh.
And we went, I went to 6-week golf.
6-week golf clinic in the summer?
Now I'm doing girls golf.
In Girl Scouts?
Yes, in Girl Scouts.
Whew. You need an assistant. You got a lot happening, Missy. I love it. I love it. So Valerie says, all learning does not happen in a classroom. Etiquette, home ec, love it all. We have a Facebook user that says, I did etiquette classes for my daughter's brownie troop. That's a great idea. You know why that's a great idea? Because some of those very basic things have been lost. And I think it's because of texting. I think people are now like communicating and talking the way they text, as opposed to, showing gratitude and appreciation and thank you notes. Like I think kids now just aren't really into all of that. Audra, let me ask you this. Can you share with us 2 or 3 things that you're doing in your home that's making this work from home? Because the thing that we've not talked about is the fact that you have your own company that you're working from home while Ava is also doing school from home. Both of those things require a lot of attention and time. What are some of the things you've done to make both of these things work, and not just work, but both things are doing really well?
So we have like the most amazing sitter who comes from 9 to 2. And during COVID, we didn't have that, although she did it via FaceTime. So I feel like because Ava has a playroom upstairs, we're able to dedicate that space. So I think the first thing is having a dedicated space and having some help and just getting over the fact that because I'm not overseeing everything, it's not my zone of genius, right? I oversee the other things. So having someone that could be in the home with us definitely helps. I also have a dedicated space for my office. And I'll typically announce and let Ava know that I'm on calls. And what do you normally say?
Good luck, Mom.
Good luck, Mom. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call. Are you like always gonna call?
And I would ask like, I'm going one day. I'm going to check him anytime he says I'm on a call.
Yeah. So I'm like the call lady. So I kind of just let her know that there's a boundary. So when mommy's doing something, it's your opportunity to kind of do something else. And then I think the third thing is just giving myself
A break.
no, not a break, a grace, because this isn't a classroom, and I'm not going to set it up like it's a classroom, and I'm not going to treat it like a classroom. We made the decision for her to be home, virtually for, safety reasons first. And, it's 5th grade, and she is smart and she is bright, and this isn't going to define who she is. So I've had to calm down a little bit. Just a little. Just a little bit.
I love that.
Mom coach, you know the deal. You know.
I love that you're giving yourself some grace. And I love that y'all have accepted the fact that you don't have to turn your home into a school for this to be a good experience. It doesn't have to be that. So Ava, you've got some fans. You've got someone that says, "Well said, Ava." That's from Miss Rhonda. And then you've got someone else that has said, "Excellent, Ava," and that's from Miss Valerie. So you've got quite a few fans here, madam. Quite a few fans. So let me ask you this, Audra. And then I'm going to ask you the same question, Ava. So you be thinking about it too. What's one thing that you did not know about virtual learning that would have been helpful had you known that before you got started?
Oh, you want to go first? Okay.
Well, I didn't know that we were using Google Meet, and I was pretty mad about that because, teachers have control over the chat, but there's been a couple of messages that were directed at me that weren't very kind. So that's why I wish we can all switch to Zoom because the teacher can have more control. And if people are muted, interrupting the teacher, then in Zoom, the teacher can just mute them and then they can't unmute back. But a lot of people take advantage of that on Google Meet and then they just unmute themselves. I
love that. So you would like more structure. You want it to be structured so that things are being done decently and in order. I love that. I don't know. Audra, can you top that? I don't even know.
I don't think I can top it, but I could add something here. So Google is actually coming out with the ability for teachers to either take away chat privileges or something like that, similar to Zoom. So at some point in October.
They already did that.
Oh, really?
You could already shut the chat off.
Oh, the teacher. Okay. The queen.
Okay.
And the teacher.
Did she not tell us? She let us know. Don't be surprised. She already told us.
Updates. They came out you can make a Jamboard, like a Google Jamboard. You can share the link in the chat. And also you can change the layout. So if it's like 9 people and you want to see everyone, then the max is 49. So you can change.
Oh,
okay.
I'll stick with answering the question and not additional commentary because clearly I'm ancient.
Now, Audra, let me ask you this. How have you helped to orchestrate time with her friends, but also keeping the safety things in mind? She said she went bike riding and, because one of her friends were leaving. How did you get comfortable with and know that, okay, these are the boundaries, these are the settings that I'm comfortable her participating in or going with friends?
So the parents and I, we all practice good safety measures, and we were very deliberate about just having just 3 of them together.
Mm-hmm.
And we started out with sitting 6 feet apart, all of that stuff. And then 5 minutes later, they're out just playing and being kids. And we just had to say, I just can't live my life being this narrow. Because I think, there's a lot of reasons that could take us out of here. And I just don't think, and I don't mean it this way, but I think there's lots of things.
Yeah.
But her being able to connect with her friends is most important because she's the only child.
Yeah.
And they miss each other and they just want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll remind them like, okay, step back a little. Now last for 30 seconds, and then they're right back into it. But I just got comfortable with the parents and the places, so I made sure that she needed some place to go. Like, I just think it's unrealistic to think a kid is going to sit in the house the whole time until we figure this out. Like, you have to learn to live around each other's germs.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so I've always kept her in activities that were socially distant, but if they got close enough, it wasn't like major. You know, every time we come in the house, there's a laundry room right off. We take everything and sanitize, and we do all of that. And thank God so far we haven't had any issues. But I think it's just understanding how we were built. We are relational people. I think
Yes.
humans in general, not just us. And feeding the mind and the soul, those things are equally important. And my husband and I just weren't willing to just say, okay, let's just shut everything off until we figure it out. Like, it's just not. And I found that to be helpful. Now, we don't do it all the time.
Right.
We are out and about, and, you know, she has to learn. I'm not going to always be around what safety looks like or feels like, and, you know, what you can do or not. Like, she won't play with everybody. Like, if I don't know their parents or their habits, she can't do that. But we try to make sure there's a mix of Zoom or Google. What's that thing called?
Google Hangout.
Yeah, Google. I call it Google Meets, Google Hangout.
I love that. I love that because I think what you're saying is if I can be in communication with the parents and trust them, then we can create what works for both of us or for all of us, whatever, you know, the three other families. I think that's fantastic. I think Ava being an only child, but I think kids in general. Learning happens in those settings as well. You know, yes, they're playing, but there's still a learning going on. There's a socialization and going on. So I love that. I love that. Ava, have you enjoyed those moments that you get to be with your friends?
Yes, but because since COVID, we didn't get to see each other, and we all met since first grade, and I really wanted to see them again. So I was really happy.
Oh, I would have loved to see a video of that reunion. That had to be special. That had to be special. Yeah. So, Ava, tell me this. If you had a magic wand and whatever you wanted, school and time with your friends and whatever, if you could just make it look like however you wanted it to look, what would it look like right now?
It would look like, you meant like virtual or like at school? Well, there would be no COVID. We would all be at school. We'd be playing around. No one would get in trouble. And all girls would be girls and all boys would be boys.
I love it. That's good. That is good. I love that. I love that. So, Audra, let me ask you, how easy has the transition been? I know maybe in the beginning it might have been a little bumpy, but share with us how the transition has been. I think we had a little taste, you know, in spring when this all kind of popped off in March. But how has this been just for your family to kind of reorient yourselves with this new system and get it up and running and thriving the way that you guys have it going now?
So it was much better because we were able to prepare. And no one was prepared or prepared or even had time to prepare going through it. So we were just thrown into it and figured it out. So we knew when we made the decision for her to be home, we started preparing, okay, what does the space need to look like? Like, we made sure we had little
a cart.
We had a little cart to put her little folders in. So very similar to that, but just like places for her to put her classes. My sitter, like most amazing individual on earth, she and I talked about, okay, what would it look like? So what would we need to do? Making sure that Ava gets fully dressed and she has a pair of shoes that she only can wear in the house, because we didn't want that relaxed state to kick in. And a little difficult for a 10-year-old to understand, but when you have on your slippers, your brain just tells you you're in a relaxed state. So just making sure that we approach it with a level of structure, I think has been helpful. And knowing her schedule has been the best part of it. So knowing her block times, knowing her specials, knowing when she's going to be in front of the teacher or not, it just makes for the day. And then our afternoons are just, they don't have as much homework this year. She had a lot of homework. She had a lot of homework last year. So she's able to get things done during the day. So the nights are just really for reading. So we do, with me, 30 minutes of reading. And I think in school, 30 as well?
30 or 20.
20 or 30. But we are trying to kind of build that stamina.
Yeah.
So it's been better. I mean, we're a month in and it's starting to feel, not normal, but, a little bit better. Like everyone knows the expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah. On her own. I don't have to worry about it. She comes down, she makes breakfast. She knows the routine in the morning. So by 8:55, she's in seat, ready to go.
Mommy, I don't wake up on my own. I have an alarm.
Well, same thing. I'm not coming in the room.
So I love so much about this. I love that what you're saying is you've set up and determined what the new routine and the new system is to adapt to what's going on. And that once that new system is in place, everybody kind of plugs in and knows their role and knows what to do. And once you work out those few kinks, then you've got this new system. It's temporary, things will go back to normal. So the idea of being up and dressed and ready for school, that's what you want, right? You don't want to start letting it be super relaxed and then the real thing happens and now you've got to kind of get out of that mindset. I love that. Ava, tell us about your specials. Your mom mentioned your blocks and your specials. What are some of the specials that you have?
We have art, music, gymnasium, and I know we have art, we have music, we have wellness and social studies. We have math. Well, that's not really a specials, but our teachers count it and yeah, so we have art, music, wellness, and social studies.
So how do you do wellness? How is that set up for you?
Well, we have a gym in our basement. So when it says whenever you need to work out, then we just go down there.
So Audra, they just allow you to kind of come up with your own routine for them, or do they send you like we would have been doing basketball this week, or how do they set that up for you?
Is it guided?
Well, like the teachers get to be able to see it, but there's like a whole list of saying like running, walking, swimming, and like golf, like fun activities. And some of the activities are on that board. So like every time like I go to golf or swimming or I go on the treadmill, then I can count that.
I love that. So it's kind of an honor system. Do they just trust that if you're writing it down that you actually did it? Is it an honor system, or do you have to send like pictures or videos of you doing it?
We don't have to send pictures or videos, but sometimes like you have to submit something and we put it into this app called Notability. And so like my sitter tells me that they have access to our Notability so they can see whatever's going on. So I guess you're kind of submitting it, but you're not submitting it because they can already see.
I love it. Yes, I agree. You are the queen of technology. I actually agree with you. Has the school system, Audra, this one's for you. Has the school system done anything to help orchestrate meetups for kids? Like I'm thinking about, extracurriculars and, some of the after school groups and stuff that would normally be meeting now. Do they have anything set up where the kids can still do that?
Not formally, because again, they don't want that to be on their watch.
Yeah.
Parents have. So they've set up some Facebook pages, and some parents, like next Tuesday, she's getting together with a couple people in her class. They're going to meet at the ice cream place and go bike ride. So we're trying to do a little bit of it, but outside of the sports activities, there's no let's kind of do the meetup thing. The parents are kind of taking the initiative to do it.
Gotcha. Audra, if you had to, and Ava, this is going to be for you too, but Audra, if you had to give parents a couple of suggestions, maybe parents that are not feeling super confident yet with the system they have in place, or, perhaps they're having more technical issues, but if you had to give a parent that maybe is still trying to find their rhythm in this, a few suggestions, what would they be?
I would say first, and I think I mentioned it before, be happy with the decision that you made. and don't compare experiences. Because like I said, everybody wants a little of what each other has. So I'm comfortable with the virtual decision. The second thing I would say is you have to pay attention. So I don't think it's fair, and we've experienced this, that just because you're home, that you don't pay attention to what your kid is doing. Like they shouldn't be taking the call from the bedroom, or they shouldn't be in their pajamas, or like you got to show up and pay attention, and don't just put them in a room or a corner and think. Now she's 5th grade. Now, if you have older kids, that might be different. But to expect that they're going to be 100% engaged. I mean, adults struggle with after 20 minutes of learning. So that would be the second thing. And I think the third thing is this is a moment in time and we will get through it. This isn't going to define, depending on where you are. Hopefully this doesn't define. I think it's going to make them stronger. I think this will be their version of a 9/11 for some of us. I know that was, catastrophic for me and something I'll never forget. This may be, remember during COVID, I got to do all these things. And just reminding them that there's so much good that has come out that we should focus on that versus the stuff we can't control. And just try to have a little fun. Like if you don't get the dishes done, okay, like get over yourself. I've had to tell myself that like a lot of times.
I love that. I love all of that. I love all of
where
that.
you are, and it's already October.
Right.
Already October.
Right. So. That's a good thing. You're right. It is already. That is so true. It is already October.
Yep. This too shall pass.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. So, Miss Ava, if you had to share with a student, maybe somebody around your age, that's really not doing real great with learning online and not being in school, is there anything that you would tell them maybe to help them be better at it or to encourage them?
I would say that they should have a good mindset and things, and stay focused, and if the teacher tells you to do something, that you should probably do it. And if you want to say something like, oh, I read for 50 minutes and you didn't do it, then that's on them, and maybe they should just tell the truth instead of getting good grades when they're actually cheating.
Very, very profound.
Girl.
This doesn't surprise me because I know you. And so seeing your mini me is just such a blessing. And to hear her say, have a good mindset and stay focused. I did not know mindset was a term at 10 years old. I don't know that I knew that was a term at 20 years old. Okay. So I
just found out it was a term and named my company after it. Okay, so
I am so impressed, Ava, with who you are as a young lady and your confidence in yourself and your ability to communicate things that are going to be helpful to other students and to parents as well. So thank you, Ava. I really appreciate you joining me today. I really do. Audra, this has been incredible. And I know that this is going to help parents that watching it live, and those that will watch it in the replay, because I'll leave it up on all platforms. And I'll also share it with you if you want to share it with anybody. But are there any last comments, thoughts, concerns, or anything that you would share with people watching?
Yeah, I think I would say as a parent, or caregiver, or whatever you are, take time for you. Like carve out an hour of power where it's just you. And if you have to get up early in the morning, but don't sacrifice who you are, because you're on this journey just like the kids are. And you need a break, and you need to stay focused, and you need to have a good mindset, like Ava said. You need to show up and do what you say you're going to do. So I would just say, don't forget about yourself and just do something. Whether it's take a walk or just journal, but don't let, too many days go by that you don't
do something for you.
Do something for you. And so some kind of healthy deposit into your life.
I love the hour of power. That's fantastic. I tell you, you're my sister from another mister. I mean, you're speaking, I'm like, Amazing, amazing. Ava, is there anything you would say as we're closing, just kind of a last thought or a last suggestion or idea or anything at all that you want to share as we kind of finalize and close up the conversation?
That if you're like frustrated about like VLP or like if you're going to school, then maybe like when you go home or like when you have your break, then maybe you should like get out a canvas or a pencil, paper, and like write or draw how you feel, because that's what I do because I like to draw. And I like to write what's good about me, and I like to like draw my favorite thing. So if I'm like sad or like frustrated, then that will make me happy again.
Who are you?
Yes, I am just write or draw how you feel. Someone else said, "Are you sure Ava is 10 years old?" Someone doesn't believe, so we may need a birth certificate or something.
Oh my God.
That literally almost brought me to tears. That you shared that, Ava, and here's why. Being able to communicate how you feel, either in writing or drawing, is such an important life skill. And so many adults don't know how to do that. So the fact that you have already developed that skill and have the language for it tells me so much about you. So I can't wait to meet you in person and like just hug on you. This has been fantastic. I want to thank everybody that's been watching and chiming in. Audra, can people follow you anywhere? Can they just kind of let you know, just kind of what's happening or anything at all?
You can check me out. The handle for Facebook is @Mindset Change Coaching.
So what I'm going to say is, if you at Mindset Change Coaching, I'm trying to talk and type at the same time. Listen, you've had an opportunity to, get a taste of Audra and Ava, and you see this mother-daughter duo, this dynamic duo. Imagine what it would be like as a C-suite professional to be able to be coached by this woman. So at Mindset Coaching is the IG handle. I highly encourage you to follow her and to get on her calendar if you know in your career you really could use some of what she's talking about. Last few points. Kudos, Ava and Ava's mom. I really enjoyed this session. Wow, Ava, she's her mother's daughter. Good job, says Rhonda. And the last one, sorry for typos. Oh, she's walking. No problem. No, look, at this point, I know how to read through typos. I don't even see typos anymore. So listen, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. I will include some links to some of the stuff we've talked about, the financial literacy course. Audra, maybe you can also give us kind of who you went to for the etiquette courses, but anything like that that can support parents, we'll put that in the chat later in the comments. But thanks so much, everybody. You ladies, thank you so much.
Bye.
Love you both. Okay, have a good evening, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.